809-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
A police helicopter fired on Venezuela's Supreme Court building in what President Nicolas Maduro called a terrorist attack, the incident coming after months of violent protest against Maduro's authoritarian government. The BBC's Will Grant with more.
An apparently hijacked police helicopter was seen circling the capital city of Caracas before dropping at least 2 grenades on the Supreme Court building. On social media, a video message from an officer calling himself Oscar Perez was released in which he said he represented a coalition of military employees, policemen and civilians, and he urged Venezuelans to rise up against what he called the tyranny in the country.
Really scary stuff in the fight against opioid abuse. Police in Texas say carfentanil is being used now in drugs peddled to those addicted. What is carfentanil? It is a drug used as an elephant anesthetic, and it's 10,000 times stronger than morphine. Dr. Peter Stout of Houston's Forensic Science Center says they're seeing more and more cases.
A lethal dose is something so small, likely you're not going to see it. And what happens is you stop breathing. So as quickly as you suffocate, that's as quickly as you die.
Last month, officers wore hazmat suits during a raid for the stuff because they were so scared of the dangers. New York transit authorities are still repairing the tracks after the subway derailment that left more than 30 people hurt, nothing seriously. Possible delays during the morning rush hour today. The cause, a piece of replacement rail left behind by workers trying to fix things. This is ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Don't go bankrupt. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 866-844-7344. That's 866-844-7344.
You know, Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road in Spindale, has been part of the family for years. Your granddad, your dad, and now this generation is depending on the great inventory, excellent service, and better pricing. Listen to some of these items we need probably right about now. 10-10-10 fertilizer, $9.50 a bag. Dog food, fire and ant killer in spray and granular, flea and tick prevention, carpenter bee traps, weed killer, and so much more. Go see Scott and his team today at 770 Oakland Road, Spindale, and keep the family tradition going. And if you'll head toward Oakland Feed and Seed and tell them what kind of a pest problem you've got or weed control problem you've got, they can tell you something to fix that, and they'll tell you how to solve it. They've got the products to do that with. So go see Oakland Feed and Seed today and get rid of all of that stuff, including those fire ants.
High pressure moving across the area today should leave us with lots of sunshine. We'll have very few, if any, clouds around. It should be warm, but our humidity stays low as highs reach about 80 to 86. Tonight we'll have clear skies. It'll be fairly cool again with light winds and lows in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Looks like on Thursday we'll see a mixture of sunshine, maybe a few more high clouds from time to time. It'll be a little bit warmer tomorrow, still not very humid with highs 83 to 89. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
We're starting off with another beautiful, great getting up morning here in the foothills. 55 degrees now, warming up to 82 with mostly sunny conditions and light wind. No rain in the forecast today or tonight, and tomorrow that only increases. Tomorrow night only increases to about 20%. Looking toward the weekend, Saturday looks pretty good. There's only a 50-50 chance of afternoon scattered thunderstorms on Saturday afternoon, and then again on Sunday, 20% chance, and Monday, July 3rd, 20% chance. On Tuesday, July 4th, we have a 20% chance of isolated thunderstorms in the afternoon. Heat index around 95 on July 4th. But right now, 55 degrees here at WCAB in Rutherfordton. Glad to have you with us this morning on the Call Around Report coming up here in just a few moments. This is the second hour of 3 of the morning wake-up hours, and we're glad that you tuned in. Thanks for making WCAB your radio station of choice to wake up to. Now I have these death announcements. William Oliver Keller, age 91, of Lake Lure, died Thursday at Hospice House of Rutherford County. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced later by McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services. And again, that's William Oliver Keller. Pam Chapman, age 54, of Rutherfordton, passed away Sunday. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Pam Chapman. Sarah Waters Reed, age 78, of Rutherfordton, died Tuesday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. The family will receive friends from 12 until 1 Thursday at Sandy Level Baptist Church. The funeral service will be 1 o'clock Thursday at Sandy Level Baptist Church. Burial will be at Sandy Level Baptist Church Cemetery. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services is in charge of the arrangements for Sarah Waters Reed. Robert J. Connor, age 80, of East Church Street, Bostic, passed away Friday at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Thursday at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in Green River Baptist Church Cemetery with military honors rendered by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Robert J. Connor. Mr. Donald Clay Harrison, 82, of Mooresboro, died Saturday at his residence. A memorial service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Friday at High Shoal Baptist Church. The visitation will follow in the service in the church, and Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is serving the family of Mr. Donald Clay Harrison. Norman Luther Spivey, age 67, of Mill Spring, passed away Thursday, June 22nd, at his home. The services will be held 2 o'clock Sunday, July 2nd, at Sunnyview Clubhouse, Cooper's Gap Road, Mill Spring. Crow's Mortuary is serving the family of Norman Luther Spivey of Mill Spring. Those are the death announcements we have in house this morning. If you want the complete information on these, tune in today at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report. You get the complete information on all the obituaries that we have in house. Stand by. Rush Limbaugh Morning Update is up next. Then we'll go to the phones.
So 3 years ago, liberals in Seattle insisted on raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Business owners and others warned that it would cost jobs and hurt the economy. Now, a study conducted by economists at the University of Washington confirms what everybody knew except the left. Instead of helping workers, the minimum wage increase hurt them. The study found a dramatic effect on business owners who stopped hiring, they reduced hours for existing workers, and they let other workers go. The study estimates that the average low-wage worker in Seattle lost $125 a month due to the minimum wage increase. The losses it caused far outweighed any benefits. And I told you Monday on my show what's happening in McDonald's. Their stock was tanking. They turned it around when they began installing thousands of robot kiosks to bring down labor costs. The kiosks don't demand $15 an hour. Liberals believe that business owners have piles of cash sitting around unused that can support the costly policies the left demands. But it doesn't work like that. Keeping labor costs under control is crucial to the survival of any business, and knowing what they are. When liberals arrogantly raise those costs arbitrarily, it always hurts the employees. They are the ones that suffer. But even with this fresh evidence, liberals will never admit that they were wrong. They'll find ways to inflict even more pain on the economy and kill more jobs. That's just what they do when they're trying to help people.
Hey guys, pardon the advertising interruption to your radio program. Do yourself a favor and please listen carefully. If you have tried or wanted to try Viagra or other male prescriptions in the last few years, you need to hear about Noxitril, the super pill that will transform your sex life forever. You see, Noxitril has been formulated and developed in U.S. FDA labs, and it's the real deal. Noxitril works, period. Strong, explosive results that increase blood flow fast. And best of all, there are no side effects like prescription meds. After years of research, the developers of Noxitril got it right. This remarkable pill is off the charts. Right now, we encourage you to take advantage of our incredible free bottle offer. So what are you waiting for? Noxitril. It's that good.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-992-9180. That's 800-992-9180. Free bottles for limited time, so call now. 800-992-9180. That's 800-992-9180.
You know, the 4th of July is the day for family, fun, and music. And WCAB is going to rock your 4th. starting at 8 a.m. after the morning call-around report. Stay with WCAB as we bring you the music that made America great, from Smokey and the Miracles to Foreigner, Patsy Cline to Carly Simon, Garth Brooks to Rod Stewart, and a whole lot in between. And as you're enjoying the fireworks, make sure you take us with you, because we're going to rock this 4th all the way to midnight. So join WCAB for a rockin' 4th of July starting at 8 a.m. right here on AM 59 WCAB.
Friends don't let friends tune to any other radio station. Good friends recommend AM 59. Shouldn't you be a good friend?
Here's what our customers think about McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I love my McCurry Deck Buick.
I love my McCurry Deck Chevrolet.
We love our McCurry Deck GMC. We guarantee you'll love McCurry Deck Chevrolet Buick GMC for a city.
I am definitely a McCurry Deck customer for life.
I love the price and the McCurry Deck Customer for Life Rewards program. It gives you up to $3,000 or more in rewards.
Take the easy drive to savings. McCurry Deck for a city. Discover the rewards of being a customer for life.
You can always tell a successful business by a lot of things: the way they treat their customers, how long they've been in business, and the company they keep. Southern Carpet and Hardwood Floors have been doing all of those things positively since 1993. Gerald and Lynn Tony set out to be the best they could be in the business, offer the best products at affordable prices they could possibly do, and ensure the customers are satisfied with every order. Their son Clayton joined the business when he was old enough to look over the display cases, I think, and he's been impressing customers ever since. The company Southern Carpet keeps includes some of the best. Names you'll recognize have been around a while: Bruce Hardwood, Appalachian Hardwood, Armstrong Vinyl, Shaw Carpet, and many more. Tarkett Flooring, the largest selection of hardwoods and laminates in this area. Beautiful carpet you'd ever want to see. Check with them when you want something done to your floors. Isn't it time to think about that? Free estimates and expert installations. Stop by to see them and ask all the questions you want to ask about floor covering. 1512 West Main Street, Forest City. That's Southern Carpet.
It was said of George Armstrong Custer that his officers fell into two categories: those who hated him and those who were related to him. And 5 of them were related. Today's story is about one of these relations, his brother Tom. Tom Custer was 5 years younger than George, and he spent his life in the shadows of his older brother. Although he wasn't as flamboyant as George, Tom was his own man. For example, unlike his brother, Tom liked his liquor. In 1870, while camped with the 7th Cavalry near Hays City, Kansas, where at the time Wild Bill Hickok was a marshal, Tom supposedly got drunk and was chased out of town by Hickok. Tom vowed revenge. A short time later, Hickok had a shootout with 3 troopers from the 7th. It's thought that Tom Custer had something to do with the affair. In 1874, Tom led an expedition into the Yellowstone River area and arrested a chief by the name of Rain in the Face. Rain in the Face later escaped, vowing to someday cut out Tom's heart. Quite possibly, Rain in the Face got his wish, for Tom's body was so mutilated in the Little Bighorn battle that his initials, TWC, tattooed on his arm was the only means of identification. Although Tom never got the fame of his older brother, during the Civil War, Tom's exploits resulted in his accomplishing something no other soldier had done before him, and few have accomplished since. Tom won 2 Congressional Medals of Honor. Tom Custer has been compared to Alvin York of World War I and Audie Murphy of World War II. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Interesting stories from the Wild, Wild West. Now let's come a little closer home. It's 17 past 7 and do the call-around report and find out what's been happening with the Sheriff's Department. And we have Deputy Hartman on the phone right now to tell us. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. Glad to have you on the program with us today.
Thank you.
What's on the report?
We have 189 calls, made 18 arrests. There's currently 205 inmates in jail. For the incidents, Kevin Absher reported incidents of breaking and entering. Shamara Hicks reported an incident of assault inflicting serious injury. Barbara Evans reported an incident of larceny of a motor vehicle. Crystal Shrewsbury reported incidents of larceny of a motor vehicle and misdemeanor larceny. Grayson Howington reported an incident of assault with a deadly weapon. For arrests, Michael Osborne of Rutherfordton was arrested for assault inflicting serious injury, assault with a deadly weapon, and assault on a female. Timothy Chapman of Bostick was arrested for possession of Schedule II controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, received a $10,000 secure bond. Ethan Ramsey out of Lawndale was arrested for failing to appear on a misdemeanor. He received a $1,000 secure bond. Jennifer Murray of Bostick was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. She received a $5,000 secure bond. Benton Mitchell from Rutherfordton was arrested for failing to appear on a misdemeanor and received a $2,000 secure bond. And that's it.
Debbie Hartman, we do appreciate the report, and you be safe out there today.
Thank you.
See you next time.
WCAB continues this call-around report right after this message from some good friends. Incredible July 4th clearance center sale at Grindstaff's. Lounge chairs from $3.99 from top name brands such as Drexel, Thomasville, Lexington, and more. In fabric, leather, even some pairs and chairs with ottomans at savings of over 80%. Sofas from $6.99 by Bernhardt, Martha Stewart, Heckman, Fairfield, and more with over 80% savings. Save on limited quantities of Serta mattress sets with twin sets from $1.99, full from $2.49, queen from $2.99, and king from $59. Now's the time to buy. Bring your truck or we can arrange for delivery. Our very best quality of patio furniture with up to 75% savings. Black mesh wrought iron sets from Metacraft while they last. 4-piece seating group at $8.99 or 5-piece dining set at $9.99. You don't want to miss our best offer ever on these durable outdoor furniture sets. Don't miss the weekend event on these incredible clearance center deals at Grindstaff's of Forest City. 911 Communication Center's next, and here's Scott. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. We're doing good.
What's on the report today?
Okay, in the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 655 911 and administrative calls, which consisted of 46 for EMS, 13 for rescue. For law enforcement, there was 189 for the Sheriff's Office, 78 for Forest City, 10 for Lake Lore, 33 for Rutherfordton, 38 for Spindale. For fire calls, Lake Lore responded to a vehicle fire, and they were assisted by Bills Creek. Cliffside responded to a motor vehicle accident. Ellenboro responded motor vehicle accident, and Forest City responded to a motor vehicle accident. That's all we've got for this morning.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Okay. You too.
Bye.
20 minutes after 7 o'clock. Well, the Owls had another good night last night over Martinsville. They whooped up on them pretty bad, 17-6. And we'll have an Owls game again. It's a daytime game starting in about noontime here on WCAB.
Hot temperatures on the highway can be brutal on your automobile. RS Speedy Lube is there to help keep your automobile running clean. Keep the oil changed regularly. They'll check the fluids and vacuum the car. Next door, get the service you need on brakes, radiator, exhaust, CV joints, and radiator flush. RS Service Center also includes service on big trucks and campers. For the best car wash, it's the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash. RS Speedy Lube Service Center is a complete service center inside, outside, and down under Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton.
Ruby Taylor is up next in Danieltown with the SDO Fire District report today. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on that report, Ruby?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar, I've got Wayne Roop and Claude Pritchard having birthdays, and hope these people have a nice day. The signs are in the boughs today and tomorrow, and that's all I got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And today we're being kind to Karen Fish of Forest City. Karen turns 57 today. We want to wish her a happy birthday all day today. This is her day, Karen Fish Day, here on WCAB.
The Recliner Center is happy to introduce new styles of Spring Air mattresses. Some come with the cool gel that you're going to love. Remember the days when you could flip your mattress? Well, Spring Air is now offering the flippable mattress. Check out these for a really great night's sleep. The Recliner Center is needing to make room for some new styles of lift chairs, recliners, and sofas, and you're going to get some special deals on the floor models and extra inventory in the store. Now, you always know you get the best deals in town at the Recliner Center, and now's the best time to go shopping. Check on the inventory of new recliners, sofas, and lift chairs coming in. Now, some of the styles have a new water-repellent fabric. Water beads up instead of soaking into the fabric. Leave it to the Recliner Center to offer you the best choices and best prices. Ask to see the new wall hugger style furniture. Hours are Wednesday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 2. The Recliner Center on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Well, it's a beautiful day to travel to the mountains up to Rumbling Ball. Let's see what Steve's got going on up there. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, Jim. Don't tell nobody, but I'm wearing a jacket this morning.
Are you really?
It's 55 degrees.
Wow.
So it's chilly for me anyway.
Well, it's 55 here as well, but boy, look outside. That sun's peeking out behind those clouds. It really looks good.
Oh, it's beautiful. This is going to be a beautiful day. I'm ready for this day, and hopefully it'll carry on. It doesn't call for these kind of conditions and on the 4th, but goodness, I hope it's better than what they're predicting. But it's going to be upper 80s.
yeah. Well, actually, our July 4th forecast is calling for highs around 90 with the heat index about 95.
Oh, yeah, don't say that.
Only a 20% chance of an isolated pop-up shower.
Well, that's good because every year, well, not every year, but too many years, those tents get blown away from the thunderstorms coming through the lake.
Yeah. Should be a better day. Good. Should be a better one this year.
Yeah, it will be. Tell you a little quick story. My evening watch guy was leaving, and the midnight guy was standing out here, just kind of whatever, getting ready for work or whatever. And he noticed a bobcat just a few feet away from him, and he says, "Did you bring your pet to work?" He looked over there, and the bobcat was looking right at him.
Oh my! Oh my!
Yeah, that was an awakening.
It's not the kind of image you want to look at.
Oh yeah, when I work midnight shift, and occasionally I do take my flashlight out with me, and I do look around because of the bear stories and other critters that do wander up close, to here.
Yeah.
And there's no telling what else is in the dark, wandering around pretty close to you.
Yeah.
So anyway, it got his attention. So, but we see bobcats from time to time.
We keep them up there, if you will, please.
I know the truth. But otherwise, it's been pretty quiet around here. We're on cruise control, preparing for the 4th, and I think we got most of all the preliminaries done now. So we're just ready for it.
Good, bring it on, right?
Yes, sir.
And you have to work extra hours over the July 4th period?
I do. I have to work about a 12 to 16-hour day.
Yeah.
So it's only a half a day.
Yeah. Depends on which half, right?
That's right. It's all good, though.
Yeah, it's all good. We
don't have many of those. I have to work that many hours, except unless we have a resort fire like we did last year. I spent a lot of time over here. It's my second home.
Oh, boy. Well, I hope that doesn't happen this year.
No, let's don't have any of those.
Yeah. Well, get a lot of rest in the meantime if you can, and be prepared for it because it's going to be a great July 4th celebration.
I think so. I'm ready.
Steve, have a great day up there.
You do the same, Jim.
See you. Bye-bye. Well, Save-A-Lot's always got something good going on over there. Let's take a look at some of the specials. They have one-day-only meat sale, and that's Monday, the 3rd of July. They have fresh ground beef sold in 5-pound packages, only $2.29 a pound. Fresh T-bone steaks, $4.49 a pound. And riblets, 10-pound box, $11.99. Pork sirloin, 99 cents a pound. Pork sirloin chops. And Bar S hot dogs, 12-ounce pack, 59 cents each. Chicken drumsticks, 49 cents each. Chicken thighs, 59 cents a pound. Boneless pork chops, family pack, $1.69. Fresh cut bottom round steaks, $2.99 a pound. While supplies last on these, in the White Oaks Plaza, Save-A-Lot, One Day Only meat sale, Monday, July 3rd. So be sure don't miss this one. Now we're heading toward Hudlow. Get Bob Hodge on the radio to get a report out of there. Bob, good morning.
Well, good hump day morning.
Yes, it's a beautiful, great getting up morning here.
That's right. A beautiful Wednesday morning there. Boy, it's nice and cool up here this morning.
Yeah, it's a little change in that temperature.
I know it there. But I bet it be warming back up. It could be hot as a firecracker here, close to the forest, instead of these cool mornings we're having. So it's nice out there. And Jim, up here with the fire department, it's been pretty quiet during the night. We ain't a couple of medical calls, didn't have any fire or wreck calls or anything, so that's good. Want to say happy birthday to Ray Doggett this morning. And Jim, that's about it. Things are pretty quiet up here this morning.
What have you already bought your fireworks?
Oh, no, I hadn't bought any of them there. I'll watch somebody else shoot them up there.
Yeah, me too.
I hadn't heard of anybody much of having them around this time.
Well, I know the Florida City Owls are going to have one July 4th night. I think, is it Union Mills, a Gilkey that does one? I don't know. Don't have that information.
Heard of any of them there, but I don't know where Gilkey's having them this time or not there.
The Rolling Ball has one.
How about up at Lake Lure? They generally have them, but
I'm not sure of their schedule either. I know Romney Ball is doing one, but that's just for the residents. But if you're parked down on the lake, you can see them coming off up there. But it's those fireworks are just for the people who are staying there for the holiday.
You know, they used to shoot them off the boats up there, and one thing and another.
They did, yep. Lake Lure don't get in touch with us too much down here. Sometimes I feel like they're just isolated by themselves and don't want to associate with us.
Well, Jim, I guess it's costing so much for them right now, and it costs a lot of money to put them on there. So.
Very expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. Well, Jim, you take care and have a good day, and I'll be talking to you in the morning.
Thanks very much, Bob. Enjoy your day, too, and I'll see you then.
All right.
Bye. It's 7:30 here on WCAB.
On the way, it's not getting any simpler. If you've got questions, we've got agents. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent can walk you through the changes and offer you the right healthcare plan with the right benefits for you. Healthcare may be changing, but our superior service isn't. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company. Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company. An independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Now, the sound facts about the Miracle Ear Genius 2.0 I've been talking about, you need to check on that if you're, if you're thinking about getting a hearing instrument. This Miracle Ear Genius 2.0 has advanced technology, high-def sound quality that adapts to your surroundings automatically. For directional focus, it zeroes in on conversation while reducing distracting background noises. That's always a plus. And feedback cancellation. It prevents noticeable and embarrassing whistling noise. You've heard that come up. These don't do that. And personalized listening. The Miracle Ear Genius 2.0 allows patients to control the sound from your smartphone. Isn't that great? Ask Lisa Terry all about that. She is at the Miracle Ear office either in Forest City or Shelby. And Miracle Ear in Forest City at 1512 West Main Street, Suite 102. In Shelby, it's over in East Dixon Boulevard. And she'd love to help you, love to answer all your questions with no obligation, give you that free hearing test. It's time to check on Miracle Ear, isn't it? Get the sound facts about Miracle Ear. Sue Price is up next from Cherry Mountain Fire District, and we'll get a report from her. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
I'm enjoying it and loving that cake.
Well, good.
Yeah, appreciate that very much.
Well, you're quite welcome. I started out this morning at 52 degrees. It's nice out there. Nice, cool morning. It's hard to believe it's June, nearly the end of June, and we got 52 degrees over the morning.
I know it.
But we'll take it. Enjoy it while it's here. It's going to get a whole lot warmer, I'm sure. But, well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I have no birthdays on my calendar today, or nothing on the church calendar. Fairview's got a birthday for David Ealton and an anniversary for Charles and Barbara Wilkie. So, hope those folks will have a good day. Nothing on First Broads for today. And I'd like to wish a happy birthday to 79th birthday to Imogene Tony. So I hope she'll have a good day. And in my announcements, let's see, First Broads Bible School is still going on. It'll be going on to tomorrow night, and then Friday night they'll have their family night. Ellenboro Women's Club taking orders for baked goods. Pickup is June 29th, so I don't know if you can still get in on that or not, but if you want to try to order, you can call Carol at 453-7768 or Jane at 245-2008. And so far, that's the only announcements I have, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over this way. A little bit cool, but I hope you'll have a good day today.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy your day, too, and I'll be back in touch with you tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 34 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. We've got an interesting interview coming up at 8:35 this morning. I'll be talking with Catherine Smith. Catherine is the author of a book called The Gatekeeper, and it's a story about Missy LeHand, Franklin Roosevelt secretary, and she probably really was the first chief of staff in the presidential office. It was a partnership that defined a presidency. Is an interesting story about Missy LeHand, and we'll talk with Catherine Smith, who has written this book. Very interesting. Gets a lot of good reviews on the book, and she's been wanting to be on, so we'll schedule that for this morning at a little about 8:35. But I think you'll find the book interesting, and also the conversation. We hope so. You know, when you need a plumber, you want someone with a reputation of getting right out to you and getting the job done for you the right way. That'll be Olmsted Plumbing. Since 1973, the Olmsted family has been serving homeowners and builders with the best of service. From unclogging a drain to replacing fixtures and appliances to remodeling jobs, their top quality work, fair prices, and punctual service has made them the area's leading plumbing firm. Eric and Chad are continuing that family tradition, and they'd like to serve you. Call 245-7302. Experience plus equipment equals excellence. Olmsted Plumbing at 245-7302. It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide daycare services for an aging parent or loved one. Rutherford Life Care can be just what you're looking for. Rutherford Life Care offers adults a safe and fun place during the day for medical monitoring, nutritional meals, and daily activities. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. Call them today and let them answer questions you may have. That's 288-1697, 288-1697. Rutherford Life offers a staff of professionals who show the love and compassion that you entrust your loved ones to. That's Rutherford Life Care Services, located on Thunder Road, Spindale. Again, that phone number is 288-1697. 7:36 here on WCAB, and we're being kind today to Karen Fish of Forest City. Karen turns 57, and we're celebrating her birthday all day today. Now let's head on up to Union Mills and get the Kelly report from Brenda. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this wonderful cool wind?
Boy, it feels good out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it makes me think, well, is this June or is it first part of October?
I believe we slept through summer.
That's all right. It'll be all right.
Feels good.
But it feels good, and we're enjoying it. We're hoping everybody's having a good day today. I've got 50 degrees on the front porch. Birthdays today. I've got Holly Carver Weaver and Sarah Crane. I don't have any on Round Hill or Macedonia. So we hope these people have a great old big day on their special day. And in ways of announcements, this is the last night for the Bible school at the Union Mills Presbyterian Church. It starts at 6 p.m. and go to 8:15 p.m. and that's for people 5 and up. And we are having fireworks and 4th celebration at the Old Gilkey School, and this is sponsored by the Old Gilkey School Community Center and the Ruatan Club. This will be on the 4th of July, starts at 4 p.m. and goes until after the fireworks. And they said this is the best ever fireworks. They'd had a lot of donations to help buy the fireworks, so they said this is really going to be a good one.
Good.
They're going to have bingo, cakewalk, bouncy house, wrestling, old tractor show, music by Clark Road Band, homemade ice cream, hot dogs, and hamburgers. So that sounds like a good time can be had by all.
Good old-fashioned July 4th celebration.
That's right. And then on Friday, July the 7th, at the Union Mills Learning Center, they're going to have a meal beginning at 6 p.m. That'll be $5, and they'll be serving green beans, corn, slaw, tomatoes, rolls, dessert, and drink. Music begins at 7 p.m., featuring Homegrown and Carolina Crossroads. No admission for music program, but they do have a tip jar available. And I reckon that's all I got going on that I know of.
Well, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah. We're looking forward to celebrating the 4th of July.
Let me ask you something. If other than being at home where you are right now, if you had a choice to be anywhere else for about a couple of days, where would you want to be?
I'd like to go back to Mississippi and just go through there where I lived when I was 19 and 20, or I don't know, somewhere back in. I was just a young woman.
What part of Mississippi was that?
I lived in a little town called Hurley, Mississippi, which was about 15 miles from Moss Point, Pascagoula.
Okay.
Yeah, right on the Gulf.
Yeah. I was stationed at Biloxi, Mississippi for a period of time when I was in the Air Force.
Yeah, I went down there and played on the beach down there.
It's a different kind of beach there, isn't it?
Yeah, and the sand was just as white.
Yeah.
And we wasn't but, I was 90 miles from New Orleans.
Yeah.
I went over there, and I wasn't but just a little piece from, I won't say Pensacola Beach, Florida. I remember going down there and swimming.
Yes.
I've been everywhere, man.
I've been everywhere, man. Well, maybe
up down this coast.
Maybe you can go again.
Well, yeah, it would be nice, but
get you a bus ticket and head on out.
Oh, good. Nah, it ain't no fun going by yourself.
Well, find you a friend to go with you.
Well, I could. I'm sure they would be somebody willing to go. But yeah, it was pretty down there. Flat. I mean, just as flat as you just see forever because it's flat.
When I was stationed there, I regret not getting down to New Orleans. It was just a little ways down the road, they tell me.
Yeah.
And a lot of my buddies were going, and I had something to do. I think I was going over to the USO to write a letter home to my lovely wife, but I didn't go to New Orleans that night, so I kind of wish I had gone because I've never been back.
Yeah. I went to New Orleans 2 or 3 times shopping.
Yeah.
And went up and down that... No, I can't think.
Bourbon Street?
Bourbon Street? Yeah, Bourbon Street, yeah. And it was nasty. I thought, golly, why does people won't come here?
A lot of nasty-minded people out there.
Well, I didn't like it, but, it is what it is. So.
Well,
I've never been to Mardi Gras. I've had no desire to go to Mardi Gras.
Yeah, and neither have I.
Yeah.
Neither have I. Well, maybe we get a chance to go back to Mississippi sometime.
Maybe. Never know.
That's right. Save your nickels and dimes, and who knows? You never know when that may happen.
That's right.
Have a wonderful day.
You have a good one. We'll catch you later.
Bye-bye. Brenda Kelly reporting out of Union Mills this morning, 7:41, and we've talked to you about getting the exhaust system fixed in your car. It's something you don't need to linger around with. If that exhaust system is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, could become a dangerous thing. Like Jackson Custom Muffler and Exhaust System take care of it. They're open conveniently Monday through Friday 8 to 5, Saturdays 8 to 12. And here's a convenient phone number for you to call them. Set up a time, 245-6727, 245-6727, or stop by to see them and work up a time they can come by them. Qualified employees that have over 16 years experience doing this, and you don't want to, that's the kind of thing you don't want to just turn it over to anybody. So let Jackson Custom Muffler and Exhaust System do it. They're in the building. They're right across from Staley Pallets and West Main Street for us, just a couple of doors up from Southern Carpet. And remember the name Jackson Custom Muffler and Exhaust System. You can't miss the building. They got a big muffler out there in the front as a sign. So go by to see them and let them do it right the first time for you. The entire team at Crow's Funeral Home and Cremation Services can help you with options available. They will help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved one. During this time, it's important to turn to someone you can trust and depend on. Crow's Mortuary and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory has a long history of trust and dependability. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory. That's 286-2304. Here's Herman Jones in Cliffside with our report. Herman, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jim. You all right this morning?
I am indeed. Hope you are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tell us what's going on in Cliffside this morning.
Not a lot. Just not like usual. Just kind of moving on. A lot of traffic this morning for some cause or other. Yeah.
Wonder where they're going.
They're going south. I don't know what most of it is. I don't know what. Some mornings there's not much, and then it get like this morning, the last, I'd say 30, 40 minutes, they've been a lot of traffic going south.
Maybe they're running from the law.
They might be. Going to Chesney Trade Day. That's where they're going.
Yep. Is that today?
No, I don't think so. No, today's Wednesday.
Yep. Oh, and they have the cattle auction on Saturday, don't they? So you can't. It's not the day they're going there. So maybe they're going down to buy lottery tickets.
It might be. Can't never tell. Let's see, Jim. The day of being Wednesday, I've got. Well, I don't. Yeah, I got Martha Lattimilk having a birthday, and Amanda. I see, Annie and. Well, that's all I got, I reckon, today, Jim.
All righty, we'll go make it a good day and have fun, and I'll see you next time.
Well, I guess I'll go to seniors. Try to keep that bunch up there from talking about you.
Well, I'll work on that for me. My ears burn every day when you're over there.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Herbert.
We have a good time. See you, Jim.
All right, bye. Herman Jones reporting out of Cliffside at 7:45. And across the road over here at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seeding Supplies, they have plenty of dog food. If your pet eats a lot of food, you got several dogs or cats, you need to feed them good. Get some of the specially priced dog food at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seeding Supplies. If you got a lot of pests outside you want to get rid of, they have the high yield kills all. It's only $49.99 for a 2.5 gallon. You get plenty of bird feed. Black oil sunflower seed the birds love. If you need to tie something down, they have the baler twine, several different kinds, and you'll appreciate knowing that the prices are good at Farmer's Friend Feed, Seeding. Of course, they always have plenty of mulch, and they've got sculpturing, landscaping timbers out here, a large selection of good use farm equipment, and they're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30, Saturday 7:30 to 2. You'll see them. Farmer's Friend Feed, Seed, and Supplies.
Dr. Josh Edgerton is the newest addition to Rutherford Surgical Associates. Dr. Edgerton is highly trained in performing laparoscopies, endoscopies, reflux surgeries, vein closure, and other surgeries. Rutherford Surgical Associates is located at 330 Highway 108, just around the corner from Rutherford Regional Medical Center. For more information about Rutherford Surgical Associates and Dr. Edgerton, call 828-286-1743 or visit myrutherfordregional.com/general surgery.
All right, now let's head over toward Ellenboro. See if we can get the man on the telephone from there and give us an Ellenboro report. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, you two. It's a nice, cool morning in the neighborhood.
Good. Love it.
It's good.
If you don't have much traffic going by, go down to Cliffside. Herman's got plenty of traffic going by his place.
Yeah, it's always bad traffic on 221A.
Yeah.
Everybody's going somewhere. Going down to South Carolina.
That's right. You're going to South Carolina.
Oh, going down to Sam's. Go down, stock up, come back. But it's a good day. You have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks very much, Luther. You have a great day, too, and I'll see you next time.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That's Luther Gilligan reporting there out of Ellenboro. I hope you heard that all right. I'm not sure if that was we're able to catch that or not, but it's time for birthdays and anniversaries, so if you'll call those in to us now at 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'll celebrate birthdays and give away one of Granny B's cakes. Meanwhile, we can head over to Gregory's for lunch today because you always recognize and know that food's going to be fresh and served well. You can enjoy a variety of things from the menu, including those delicious grinders. Boy, I'm loving those grinders. They have delicious subs, burgers, pastas, garden fresh salad. Love the garden fresh salad bar. And steaks to perfection. Call in Gregory's if you have a catering job, too, coming up. Always well done. Always professional, always good food. And you'll be the one they smile about if you choose Gregory's for your catering job. 287-2171, 287-2171. That's Gregory's for lunch or dinner today or for any catered event. Well, over at Washburn Store between Bostic and Sunshine, one of my favorite places in the county, is Washburn Store. They have those White Mountain ice cream freezers in now, manual and electric. You need to get one of those for these hot days at celebrating July 4th, and nothing was any better than a cookout and then make a churn of ice cream following the hot dogs and hamburgers. They have kids love it, mom and dad love it, grandpa and grandma love it, neighbors love it. White Mountain ice cream freezers, manual and electric at Washburn Store. They have stick candy coming in this week also. Pepper plants still for sale. All that's available and more at Washburn Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway.
It's a for sure thing. Sisk Family Ford in Forest City is earning a quality reputation for offering an attractive inventory of new and used cars and trucks. If you want a new Ford truck, you'll be a smart shopper to let Sisk Family Ford quote you a deal. From a car for the newlywed to the car for the large family, let the Sisk Family Company help your family get the best deal. Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
And for that extra side dessert for this holiday, get some of those pedophores from Granny B's. She does it right. You'll love them. They're sweet, they're pretty, they're cute, and they won't be around very long because they're eating pretty fast. Granny B's, so get a bunch of them. Phone number over there is 286-9012. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Karen Fish of Forest City, 57 today, celebrating a birthday, so we want to wish her a happy birthday. Also, let's see, I've got a list here under my stack of stuff. Cheryl Petit of Forest City is having a birthday. She works at the post office in Ellenboro. Crystal Harden of Caroline's having a birthday. Dorothy Dawkins over in Forest City is also celebrating. Timothy Mark Thoms, 27, over Toms Lake Road area. And Bobby Jean Reimer's having a birthday. Austin Bailey writes for the Daily Courier. He's having a birthday today. Let's see who else. Holly Carver Weaver is having a birthday. Sarah Crane, all these folks having a happy birthday. We'll find out who's going to win that cake coming up here in just a moment.
Power can be used in at least two ways. It can be unleashed or it can be harnessed. The energy in 10 gallons of gasoline, for instance, can be released explosively by dropping a lighted match into the can. Or it can be channeled through the engine of a small-sized car in a controlled burn and transport a person 350 miles. Explosions are spectacular, but controlled burns have lasting effect, staying power. We have seen the explosive use of human power in riots that have gripped our cities over the years. These riots are spectacular and capture the eyes of news teams from around the world, but those same rioters could channel their energy and work together to make their community a place of beauty and respect. The latter won't probably be seen on the evening news, but for the people living there, it will be far more beneficial. Bursts of anger in interpersonal relationships are like throwing a match on a can of gas. Working to understand the person and be patient with them is like channeling that energy for the long haul. Both types of power have their purpose, but for the most part, the long and the controlled burn is the safest and most productive. The Bible says, "My dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires." This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
And congratulations are in order. After the drawing takes place, the winner of the cake this morning happens to be Austin Bailey. He's a reporter for the Daily Courier. He's won the cake, and we'll have a certificate right here. Austin, come by and pick that up and enjoy that cake. I'm sure you will. Now we have a guest I'll be interviewing 8:35 this morning. Hope you'll stay tuned to that. It's the Gatekeeper, Tyler Book, and Catherine Smith have written about Franklin D. Roosevelt's gatekeeper, or his secretary, personal aide, and probably the first chief of staff. And we'll talk about that coming up.
NCN News. I'm Mike Riley. No one has claimed responsibility for a global cyber attack that disabled at least 2,000 computers in the U.S. and Europe. CBS News senior national security analyst Fran Townsend was a Homeland Security advisor for President George W. Bush. She explains this attack is different from last month's global attack.
You recall the WannaCry attack, which also was a ransomware attack. This takes that sort of to the next level. That was stopped because there was a kill switch. They haven't found a kill switch to this one yet.
Governor Roy Cooper has officially vetoed the state budget bill approved by legislative Republicans. Cooper returned the measure with his veto stamp on Tuesday to the Senate, where the measure originated. Meredith College political science professor David McClellan says lawmakers will be able to meet the goal of having a budget on time.
This is the timing that the leadership in the House and Senate always wanted, which is to wrap up particularly the budget by the beginning of the fiscal year, which happens on July 1st.
The Senate has overridden that veto. Senate leader Mitch McConnell pulled the health care bill because he doesn't have enough Republican votes to pass it. There are now 12 GOP senators who say they can't support it. CBS News chief congressional correspondent Nancy Cordes tells us.
You have a lot of protest groups that have been planning for this recess and will be demonstrating outside town halls. But the reality is that these senators were already getting an earful. They were getting phone calls. They were getting emails. And that is part of the reason that you saw so many of these GOP senators come out in opposition to their own party's bill and say, let's slow down. Let's go back to the drawing board. We have concerns, but we think that they can be addressed. So the bill is on life support, but certainly not dead.
The North Carolina House has passed a bill allowing alcohol sales on Sunday mornings. You're listening to NCN News.
This is Brian Geisinger from the ACC Sports Journal. Here's a look at what we have at ACCSports.com today. Zamir White, a five-star running back and the #1 running back prospect in the 2018 class, made his college decision on Tuesday, selecting Georgia over North Carolina and Clemson. For full coverage of that story, head to ACCSports.com. At the ACC Analytics tab, we take a statistical look at one of the newcomers in the ACC, Al Freeman of NC State, and rising Clemson senior Dante Grantham. Our 2017 ACC Football Preview magazine is out. Coverage for all 14 teams and Notre Dame. You can order your copy online. Pick one up at Barnes & Noble. For the latest news on the Tar Heels, Blue Devils, Demon Deacons, Wolfpack, and the rest of the ACC, make sure to check out ACCSports.com. I'm Brian Geisinger.
A new report on rural roads by National Transportation Research Group TRIP ranks North Carolina 8th nationwide for rural road fatalities per number of miles traveled. In 2015, there were 855 fatalities on North Carolina's roads, third in the U.S., trailing only Texas and California. President of the North Carolina Farm Bureau, Larry Wooten, says,
North Carolina is a beautiful state, and if you're going to travel this beautiful state of ours, you're going to travel on rural roads, and many of those rural roads are winding, they're narrow, sometimes they're not very well lit at night.
The Associated Press has learned that the head of the Environmental Protection Agency met privately with the CEO of Dow Chemical in the weeks before a key decision was made to keep a pesticide in use despite safety concerns.
After a Freedom of Information request for his schedule, the AP learned that on March 9th, EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt met with Dow CEO Andrew Leveris for about a half hour at a Houston hotel, where both were attending a conference. Less than 3 weeks later, Pruitt announced, despite his agency's efforts to ban the pesticide chlorpyrifos from being sprayed on food because it's linked to brain damage in infants, the pesticide would still be used. Dow Chemical contributed $1 million to the Trump inauguration. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
A trial date has been set for a California suit against Bill Cosby.
A California court has tentatively set a July 30th, 2018 date for the trial of a lawsuit that accuses Bill Cosby of sexually assaulting a teenage girl at the Playboy Mansion more than 40 years ago. She was 15 at the time. The Los Angeles County Superior Court judge set the distant date because Pennsylvania prosecutors are expected to retry a criminal case against Cosby following a jury deadlock less than a couple of weeks ago. I'm Shelley Ann.
All you ever need in news, weather, sports, and the best blend of the oldies is right here on the mighty 590 WCAB.
From ABC News. Sherry Preston. A cyber attack that started in Europe and has been spreading since Tuesday has hit both European and U.S. computer networks. It's another ransomware attack like the one that hit a couple of months ago. This one, though, might be cut short soon if an American software engineer turns out to be right.
The virus will effectively shut you out of your computer until you send $300 in Bitcoin to an email address, and that email address is no longer working. But a researcher for a Boston security firm called Cybereason says by changing one file name, you can disable it. It's a limited fix, though. All hackers have to do is change the name of their virus to get back up and running. The ransomware's infected computers at pharma giants, law firms, and other companies around the globe.
ABC's Brad Milkey. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell in the Senate had said that the health care repeal plan was introduced and a vote would be held before the July 4th recess. That is not going to happen now, though. No consensus on it. ABC News Chief White House Correspondent Jonathan Karl with more on how it's all shaping up as members of the Senate and the House prepare to head home for their summer break.
Opposition could get, in fact, increased, but there's one big factor working to the Republican leadership's advantage here. That is that every one of those Republican senators in that room have campaigned on repealing Obamacare, and the alternative at the end of the day, if they cannot pass anything, is to leave Obamacare in place.
A partial version of President Trump's travel ban is set to be implemented tomorrow. Justice Department lawyers trying to determine what qualifies as a bona fide relationship between those trying to get to the U.S. and those already here. A request from veterans advocates. Beware of who might be affected by fireworks.
Nothing can take a combat veteran back to the battlefield like an explosion, the kind that will be intentionally set off countless times on the 4th of July. A group called MilitaryWithPTSD.org has been offering yard signs to veterans, urging neighbors to be considerate of people who find fireworks shows a terrifying emotional trigger.
ABC's Jim Ryan. This is ABC News.
Doors are being slammed in your face, and bad credit is holding you back from buying a house, car, even getting a credit card. $99 can put your credit back to a 720 or higher. That's right, just $99. Bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments, and even late pays can be removed from credit reports by calling the Giving Days Foundation. A nonprofit organization is here to help. Federal law allows you to challenge each and every item on your credit report. We'll recalculate your personal credit score for only $99 and repair your personal credit for free. Just be one of the first 10 callers. Take our personal credit challenge. Get your credit score to a 720. 800-790-4070. Call now to recalculate your personal credit score for only $99 and repair your personal credit for free. Call now. 800-790-4070. Don't miss this great free credit repair. Just be one of the first 10 callers. 800-790-4070.
Felony charges for 3 Chicago cops who allegedly helped cover up for the actions of a white police officer who fatally shot a black teen in 2014.
The disturbing dashcam video sparked national outrage as Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke shooting 17-year-old Laquan McDonald 16 times as he walked away while holding a knife. Van Dyke is awaiting trial on murder charges, and a special prosecutor investigating the case charging his police partner, former Officer Joseph Walsh, Officer Thomas Gaffney, and former Detective David March with conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and official misconduct.
ABC's Alex Perez. He was wanted in several states, but now he's behind bars.
Police and the FBI say it was a phone call to his mom that tipped them off. 39-year-old Richard Gathercole told his mom on a recorded phone line to get guns out of his house after he was arrested for shooting at a state trooper. At his house, they found weapons and homemade bombs linking Gathercole to being the so-called AK-47 bandit wanted for bank robberies in California, Iowa, Washington, Idaho, and Nebraska. FBI Special Agent in Charge Stephen Woolery.
The AK-47 bandit was public enemy number 1.
Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Woman from South Carolina gave birth to a 14-pound baby boy this week. Colin Keisler's dad says he wants him to be a defense lineman for Clemson and then play for the Green Bay Packers. He's got a good start there. This is ABC News.
My name is Jim. I'm a veteran, and I lost both legs in Vietnam. My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
I'm Julius. I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission, helping veterans of all generations get the benefits they've earned.
I'm Cece. My victory was finishing my education.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.
High pressure moving across the area today should leave us with lots of sunshine. We'll have very few, if any, clouds around. It should be warm, but our humidity stays low as highs reach about 80 to 86. Tonight we'll have clear skies. It'll be fairly cool again with light winds and lows in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Looks like on Thursday we'll see a mixture of sunshine, maybe a few more high clouds from time to time. It'll be a little bit warmer tomorrow, still not very humid with highs 83 to 89. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
Well, if we could just bank it right here where it is, it'd be a beautiful day. In pleasant temperatures, but it's going to be climbing up to about 82, which is not bad. It's been a lot hotter. 82 with light wind today and mostly sunny. Looking toward July 4th weekend on Sunday, partly cloudy with a 30% chance of some afternoon scattered showers. Then on Monday the 3rd, 20% chance of an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon. And Tuesday, July 4th, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms. Only about 20% chance of that happening, and it's going to be about 90 on July 4th. And the heat index around 95. So a warm day in the neighborhood for July 4th activities. So what do we have planned? I think you probably can do that without much threat of rain and maybe a pop-up shower, a pop-up thunderstorm. It'll be short-lived, and you can carry on and continue playing badminton or croquet or whatever you're doing outside in the yard, swatting mosquitoes or whatever. It'll be a fun weekend. Anyway, 6 minutes after 8, congratulations to Austin Bailey. He won the cake this morning from Granny B's. He's a reporter for the Daily Courier. He has been the lucky winner of the cake today. And we're being kind to Karen Fish of Forest City on her 57th birthday. So congratulations to both Karen and Austin Bailey. I'm not sure where Austin lives in the county, but writes for the Daily Courier. All right, we have a baseball game coming up at noon today. Yep. The Owls are playing Gastonia. It's a noon game today. They won last night big time over Martinsville, 17-6. They beat Florence on Monday night, 8-4. So they got a good season going. They're right up in the number one position, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going, and we have an Owls game today at noon. Owls game tomorrow night at 7. Tomorrow night. 6 o'clock. It's a 6 o'clock game tomorrow night. Then on Friday night, it's a 7:05 game with the Owls. And then on Saturday, we go back to the Braves against the Oakland Athletics, an afternoon game about 3 o'clock. Then on Sunday, Braves and the Athletics about 2:50 again on Sunday. So baseball season is here. July 4th is here. Hot dogs are coming, and it's going to be a flag-waving kind of celebration on this July 4th weekend for baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie. Maybe some marshmallows. 8 minutes after 8. Thank you for joining us for the morning wake-up call. We got a special interview coming up at 8:35 this morning. I'd like for you to listen to Catherine Smith. Has written a book called The Gatekeeper. It's about Missy LeHand, FDR, and the untold story of the partnership that defined the presidency. Don't hear much about her today, but she would have been considered probably now in today's era. She would probably have been considered the chief of staff. But she was much more than that with FDR. We'll talk about that in 8:30 hour this morning here on WCAB.
If you suffer from foot or ankle pain, you should know there's advanced care available to you right here in Rutherford County. Dr. Jason Glover of Rutherford Orthopedics is the only fellowship-trained foot and ankle surgeon in our region. Now, what does that mean for you? It means a greater level of expertise that comes through advanced studies and research. You have options when it comes to foot and ankle care. So, learn more. Visit www.myrutherfordregional.com/orthopedics.
Let's look at some stories from here and there this morning as we scan other sources of news. The Daily Courier is reporting about another town budget has been approved. It looks like all the town budgets now have been approved and they can move on with their business at hand. 911 backup center has been delayed. The Rutherford County 911 Communication Center will miss a deadline to establish a backup site, but officials are hopeful the new site will be up and running by fall. The 911 Center is located on North Washington Street in Rutherfordton and is managed by the Sheriff's Department. Establishing a second location is mandated by the state and will be located on Fairground Road in Spindale in the former Farmers Market building. The original deadline was July 1st. Tammy Aldridge, who served as 911 Center Director until Monday when she became Senior Center Director, said that if there is ever a situation forcing the evacuation of the main site, then the backup site will be ready for emergency communication. A catastrophic emergency even could trigger the activation of the second site or even something like a major vehicle accident in Rutherfordton, possibly causing an extended power outage. Aldridge says the postponement was a result of delays from the phone vendors. But they will get that done, as said, because it has now been state mandated. And the town of Spindale has received an NFA regarding the Cranes gas station location. They received a no further action, NFA, no further action letter from the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality regarding the Crane service station site on West Main Street in Spindale. Spindale Town Manager Scott Weber said the NFA letter means the contamination level at the site is very low and no further action is needed. It also means the property has no restrictions other than the restriction on using groundwater for the water supply. It's been a long time coming, and we couldn't have done it without the great partners we had throughout the project, he said. Spindale Mayor Mickey Bland was complimentary of Weber's efforts in the project. In May 2016, the service station was demolished after many months of discussion. The Stonecutter Foundation donated $15,000 to support the demolition. Prior to demolition, the EPA conducted a Phase 1 assessment in November 2015. The EPA made a decision then to proceed with a Phase 2 assessment, which involves soil collection and testing the soil. So it now has received a no further action letter from them, and they'll move on, I guess, with whatever they need to do. I remember Crane service station there on the corner of Benny just bought a lot of gallons of gas for those good folks there at Crane's service station, but now it is no longer there, of course. Other stories around the area. Tryon Daily Bulletin is reporting about the Columbus Fire Department hosting the barbecue and gospel singing. They're in Tryon for July 4th. 44th time barbecue and gospel music will appear in Columbus for an event that has been raising money for the Columbus Fire Department since 1973. The event draws hundreds of people each year over the 4 days, but before Independence Day, from many area counties to the firehouse for food and the Veterans Park for music. Gospel performers in national and local standings have taken the stage time and time again to provide the audience with 4 great nights of music, while firemen slow cook day and night, keeping the grills hot and busy. This Friday, June 30th, the event kicks off with the Principles of Tennessee, whose hit song, I Want Us to Be Together in Heaven, was one of the biggest gospel hits of the 1980s. In addition, well-loved vocalist Brian Birchfield of Tennessee, the Henderson County group Soul Vision, who have just had their first top 40 single nationwide, and local Polk County group Turning Point featuring the Stamper Brothers of Green River Cove. And then on Saturday, July 1st, Johnston, South Carolina-based group The Brazil take the stage along with two Greenville County groups, the Atkins Family and the Wells of Joy, and the Polk County group Joyful Noise. Then Sunday night will feature bluegrass gospel music, including national charting singles from the King James Boys from Cowpens and Carolina Blue from Transylvania County, along with Rutherford County Line and Saluta's own Colt Creek Bluegrass. Music begins at 7 o'clock each evening, so that should be a big time over there for the Polk County folks and anybody else who wants to go. And it's a big to-do at the Florida City Owl Stadium on July 4th as well. I'll try to get some information on that and pass that on to you. Well, in North Carolina, a teenager's disappearance has caused concern over the nation, but a man has been denied bond in that case of a North Carolina teenager who was found in Georgia home after disappearing more than a year ago. Atlanta media reported that 31-year-old Michael Wisłowski sat emotionless in a Gwinnett County, Georgia courtroom as a magistrate judge read the charges. He did not enter a plea. His next court appearance is July the 7th. FBI spokeswoman Shelley Lynch said Sunday that the victim, now 17, was reunited with her parents after being found in Duluth, about 30 miles northeast of Atlanta. Wolofsky faced charges that include sex offenses, cruelty to children, and false imprisonment. Atlanta media reported that her parents believe she left home in May of last year after meeting a man online. How often do we hear about that when teenage girls, young girls meet a man online and who knows what he might promise them and say to them, and they end up leaving home and many times end up dead, many times end up being kidnapped for a long period of time. I guess the thing is, I know we can't control every minute our teenagers are alive and up, but if we caution them very lovingly that how dangerous those kind of things are, perhaps it'll make an impact. I'd like to keep you posted on the scams too that are happening in our general vicinity. There's a new scam that claims to be Henderson County special agent serving silver papers. The Henderson County Sheriff's Office is warning people about a phone scam in that area. If it can happen there, it can happen here. Deputies say a person is claiming to be a special agent with the Henderson County Sheriff's Office who has civil papers to serve on them. The scammer tells people if they don't provide information or money, they'll be taken to jail. Deputies say the phone number appears as a local 828 area code. They say civil process deputies will sometimes call the public regarding subpoenas, child support, and other civil papers. However, civil process deputies will always identify themselves and will never ask for money or personal information. Anyone receiving a telephone call from a person purporting to be a law enforcement official seeking money should hang up and not release any personal information to the caller. That's word to the wise there. Well, which state do you think has the rudest drivers in the country? No, it's not North Carolina. The results are in, and a new survey by Cars for Kids said South Carolina ranks second for the rudest drivers in the county, or in the country. The online survey asked drivers in all 50 states questions about their driving habits, like how often do you signal or how do you react to a situation with another driver. Those results were then graded and ranked against other states, with South Carolina and New York at the top for rudest drivers. Douglas Taylor, who drives in South Carolina, said they're kind of selfish drivers. People think it's their road, their car, their lane, so they don't respect other people around them. How many times have you sat at a intersection waiting to turn right, and there's an oncoming car down, and you want to wait till they get by before you pull out, and then they turn in to the right in a driveway or into the post office without giving you a signal? You could have already been gone, but they don't use their signal light. I guess people forget they've got signal lights in their cars. You're never sure where they're going to turn, where they're going, so you have to sort of wait on them. But that's some of the things they're talking about. Most people we spoke to said the Palmetto State is just like any other state in terms of what drivers do wrong, but they do not believe the state should have such a bad ranking. This is what they're saying about South Carolina. Well, I don't know who, but I don't know. Down in Greenville, South Carolina, a 911 call from a car chase. This is from Channel 7 News. 911 calls from a car chase of a naked man that accused of murdering his mother in Fountain Inn have been released to 7 News. On June 17th, Greenville County deputies received a phone call that a naked man had carjacked a black Honda Civic on Hardwick Lane in Fountain Inn. The caller stated that she could see blood on several cars and on the back door of the home. The caller's father took off in his own vehicle, chasing that carjacker onto 385. Dispatchers were on the phone with that man for 10 minutes before deputies were able to locate the suspect and neighbor driving on 385 just past Georgia Road. Deputies stated the driver of the black Honda Civic wouldn't stop, started a chase into downtown Greenville where the car crashed. Deputies say Oliver's son, Christopher Lee Oliver, 44, is accused of her murder. He's being held at the Greenville County Detention Center and was denied bond. He's charged with murder, possession of a weapon during a violent crime, carjacking, 2 counts of that, grand larceny, and failure to stop for a blue light. No charge for running around naked, I guess. The investigation into Oliver's death is ongoing, and they're looking for other information you might get. What is it about so many people running around naked anymore? Seems like, I don't know. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, I know it's warm, but come on, keep your clothes on. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, we'll have that sheriff's report with Deputy Hartman coming up here in just a few minutes.
My mom used to always tell me no when I wanted to play games online or video chat with Nana. She said it's because we had a slow DSL connection. But then we switched to Northland, and their internet is seriously fast.
With packages starting at $29.99 per month and speeds up to 100 megabits per second, it's time you said no to slow and yes to Northland. Call 1-888-NORTHLAND or visit getnorthland.com/fast today. Limited time offer. Additional restrictions and conditions apply. See getnorthland.com/offers for details.
Well, Jay's Discount Grocery always establishes the fact from the outset that anytime you walk through the doors and buy something from them and walk out, you have saved a lot of money on your grocery bill. It's a proven fact. It's not hearsay. It's not made up. It's a proven fact that if you buy groceries at Jay's Discount Grocery, you're going to save money. Every time. Every item on every shelf, on every aisle, every day is discounted. If you're buying for July 4th celebration, take your list over to Jay's Discount Grocery and see how much money you can save. Then you can use that extra money to buy an extra hot dog, maybe. I don't know. But just go to Jay's Discount Grocery. They're over there behind the Hospice Resale Shop in Forest City. The Sheriff's Report coming up after this. Incredible July 4th clearance center sale at Grindstaff's. Lounge chairs from $3.99 from top name brands such as Drexel, Thomasville, Lexington, and more. In fabric, leather, even some pairs and chairs with ottomans at savings of over 80%. Sofas from $6.99 by Bernhard, Martha Stewart, Heckman, Fairfield, and more with over 80% savings. Save on limited quantities of Serta mattress sets with twin sets from $1.99, full from $2.49, queen from $2.99, and king from $59. Now's the time to buy. Bring your truck or we can arrange for delivery. Our very best quality of patio furniture with up to 75% savings. Black mesh wrought iron sets from Metacraft while they last. 4-piece seating group at $8.99 or 5-piece dining set at $9.99. You don't want to miss our best offer ever on these durable outdoor furniture sets. Don't miss the weekend event on these incredible clearance center deals at Grindstaff's of Forest City. Well, thank you very much, Jim. Here is Deputy Hartman with our Sheriff's Report. We aired earlier, recorded it for broadcast at this time.
We have 189 calls, made 18 arrests. There's currently 205 inmates in jail. For the incidents, Kevin Absher reported incidents of breaking and entering. Shamara Hicks reported an incident of assault inflicting serious injury. Barbara Evans reported an incident of larceny of a motor vehicle. Crystal Shrewsbury reported an incident of larceny of a motor vehicle and misdemeanor larceny. Grayson Howington reported an incident of assault with a deadly weapon. For arrests, Michael Osborne of Rutherfordton was arrested for assault inflicting serious injury, assault with a deadly weapon, and assault on a female. Timothy Chapman of Bostic was arrested for possession of Schedule II controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, received a $10,000 secure bond. Ethan Ramsey out of Lawndale was arrested for failing to appear on a misdemeanor. He received a $1,000 secure bond. Jennifer Murray of Bostic was arrested for failure to appear on a misdemeanor. She received a $5,000 secure bond. Benton Mitchell from Rutherfordton was arrested for failing to appear on a misdemeanor and received a $2,000 secure bond. And that's it.
Thanks, Deputy Hartman, for that report. The Washington Post said this about Missy LeHand. Said LeHand was more than FDR's Girl Friday. She helped change America. And we'll find out more about the gatekeeper from Catherine Smith in just a few minutes. Miss LeHand, FDR, and the untold story of the partnership that defined the presidency. Don't hear much about her today, but she was a factor in the FDR administration, and we'll find out more about her in just a few minutes.
NCN Sports. I'm Josh Zach.
This could do it on the ground to second. And the Gators get their first College World Series championship.
The audio courtesy of NCAA.com as Florida beat LSU last night 6-1 in Game 2 of the College World Series to claim their first national baseball championship. The Gators scored 4 runs in the 8th inning to pull away from the Tigers and beat their SEC rival, Florida coach Kevin O'Sullivan.
It's had a weird feeling about this group. Nothing's been easy for us, and it's just a gritty group. It's just a gritty group.
In 2012, Todd Gurley from Tarboro opted to sign with the Georgia Bulldogs. In 2015, Keith Marshall left Raleigh Millbrook and signed with Georgia. The theme of North Carolina losing its high school running backs to the state of Georgia continues. The latest name to join that list, Zamir White from Scotland High School in Laurinburg. On Tuesday, White announced he'll play for the Bulldogs instead of UNC and a handful of other colleges that were looking at him. Keith Wood is the assistant coach at Scotland High.
He's a dynamic player, dynamic runner, with lots of speed, has a good burst out of his cuts, but just a tremendous person.
White is the #1 ranked running back and the #6 overall prospect in the class of 2018. The Tar Heels had a chance at landing him. He had visited Chapel Hill multiple times, the latest time last week when he attended UNC's annual Freak Show recruitment camp. Just 5 days after being drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in the first round, Malik Monk suffered an injury that will likely keep him out for the entire Summer League season. The Hornets say Monk injured his ankle during a pre-draft workout. He's expected to be sidelined for 2 to 4 weeks. The Hornets said they do expect Monk to be ready for training camp before the start of the regular season. This is NCN Sports.
Every day, you depend on hospitals and health systems to be there when you need them. Our state certificate of need law ensures healthcare services are distributed fairly across the state. But special interest groups say the law limits access. Want to know the facts? North Carolinians have better access to hospitals, surgery centers, and doctors than states without certificate of need. That's especially true in suburban and rural communities. Ask your elected officials to protect certificate of need and protect high-quality health care close to home. Message paid for by the North Carolina Hospital Association.
Employers, if you're looking to fill open positions, NCJobsNow.com with its powerful statewide ad campaign can reach applicants all across North Carolina. And there's more good news. NCJobsNow.com has lower rates on single listings, plus an introductory offer that makes NCJobsNow.com the most cost-efficient way to advertise your job openings. For larger employers, plans are available that enable you to post all your job openings. For more details, go to NCJobsNow.com. That's NCJobsNow.com.
Jacoby Ellsbury of the New York Yankees has tied Pete Rose's obscure record for reaching base the most times in his career on catcher's interference. Ellsbury did it for the 29th time Tuesday. His bat tipped the mitt of Chicago White Sox catcher Kevin Smith on a swing in the 9th inning, and Ellsbury was awarded the base. He set a single-season mark last year by doing it 12 times. This was the third time he nicked a catcher's mitt this season. Rose is baseball's all-time hits leader. He had 15,890 plate appearances in his career. Ellsbury matched the odd mark in only 5,129. Andy Murray is withdrawn from an exhibition match in London because of a sore hip less than a week before the start of Wimbledon. The decision was made as a precaution. The top-ranked Murray had been scheduled to play 2 matches at the Aspall Tennis Classic. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt, at Insurance Service Associates about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
You know, Oakland Feed and Seed, Oakland Road in Spindale, has been part of the family for years. Your granddad, your dad, and now this generation is depending on the great inventory, excellent service, and better pricing. Listen to some of these items we need probably right about now. 10-10-10 fertilizer, $9.50 a bag. Dog food, fire and ant killer in spray and granular, flea and tick prevention, carpenter bee traps, weed killer, and so much more. Go see Scott and his team today at 770 Oakland Road, Spindale, and keep the family tradition going.
Edwards is adamant.
I guess there's a bunch going on, but I haven't paid attention to any of it.
He's not coming back.
I would talk to Coach first, and I haven't had any conversations about that.
And
I had mixed emotions about how the year was going to go.
All right, let's just get this out of the way right now. Mr. Stewart is my father.
Mark Caro and PRN's Garage Pass.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. That's 800-398-8309.
like the weather, silly season on the Monster Energy Cup Series is warming up. And although he quit over the winter, the talk won't go away. Carl Edwards will get back behind the wheel in 2018. The 37-year-old Missouri native was in Sonoma over the weekend, explaining if he ever did return, Joe Gibbs would get the initial call, and said he was clueless about his name being thrown around in the rumor mill.
I haven't paid attention to any of it. So yeah, I got a little briefing before I spoke with you guys. I guess there's a bunch going on, but I haven't paid attention to any of it. I think it's pretty clear if I feel like I really want to do something, then I would do it. But like I said in January, I guess I would talk to Coach first, and I haven't had any conversations about that.
After Stewart Haas Racing made the switch from Chevrolet to Ford, the 2017 season was 18 races deep before Kevin Harvick returned to victory lane.
I can say this now, but I had mixed emotions about how the year was going to go just because of the fact that we had a lot on our plate to switch over, and I think as we started the year, we had good performance, and we went through a little bit of a spell where it wasn't as good as the first 3 or 4 weeks, and then the last month and a half has been really good.
Following career win number 36, Harvick jumped to third in the regular season point standings, but is 111 behind leader Kyle Larson, who's only up 13 on second place Martin Truex Jr. Finishing sixth in his final Sonoma road race, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was asked if he was going to miss the place.
I don't know. I don't have any feelings really about it. I don't know if it's sunk in or whether I'll have any feelings at all.
all, because I don't really plan on going anywhere. I just ain't going to drive the cars that much.
Want an easy way to help take care of your vehicle? Since 1936, Z-Max Micro Lubricant has been the one product working to fight against carbon buildup in your engine and fuel system. Z-Max literally soaks into metal where it breaks up harmful carbon deposits, helping improve performance and extend engine life and reduce emissions. Use it in your new or used vehicle. Z-Max is an easy application you can pour yourself into your fuel and oil. Get Z-Max today at zmax.com or visit your local auto parts store. Also available for firearms.
Wearing his team owner hat, Tony Stewart was talking to the media following the Sonoma win for Kevin Harvick when a point of etiquette came up.
Mr. Stewart, we're halfway through the season. Do you?
All right, let's just get this out of the way right now. Mr. Stewart is my father. When he passes away, then I take over the torch and I carry the title, but it's his distinct honor and pleasure to carry the Mr. part. I'm just his son right now.
Mark Garrow and PRN's Garage Pass, brought to you by Z-Max. Performance you can feel.
When you're looking for a new bike, don't settle for second best. And that's precisely why you want a Honda. And the best place to get your off-road bike, your street bike, four-wheelers, dirt bike, or your new all-terrain vehicles, they got it all. It's E&H Honda in Alexander Mills. The Honda quality and style has been the big seller over these many years. The name E&H Honda has been the place to go for over 25 years because people expect the best from them. For personal hometown service and experience, stop by 122 Blanton Circle, Alexander Mills, Forest City. That's E&H Honda.
High pressure moving across the area today should leave us with lots of sunshine. We'll have very few, if any, clouds around. It should be warm, but our humidity stays low as highs reach about 80 to 86. Tonight we'll have clear skies. It'll be fairly cool again with light winds and lows in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Looks like on Thursday we'll see a mixture of sunshine, maybe a few more high clouds from time to time. It'll be a little bit warmer tomorrow, still not very humid with highs 83 to 89. I'm meteorologist Mike Moss in the Weather Center.
And we're warming up nicely here in the foothills. It's 8:34. Our temperature right now, 59 degrees, warming up to about 82 and mostly sunny skies. Looking toward the weekend in July 4th, looks like on Monday, partly cloudy with only a 20% chance of isolated thunderstorms, highs around 90. Then July 4th, partly cloudy with isolated thunderstorms, but only a 20% chance of that happening. Probably one of those afternoon pop-up kind of thunderstorms that will be here just very briefly and gone. Highs around 90 on July 4th. So pretty good weather for us these next few days. Congratulations again to Austin Bailey. He won the cake this morning from Granny B's. He's a reporter for the Daily Courier. And we're being kind to Karen Fish, 57, lives over in Forest City. Well, I've been telling you in promo a little bit this morning about the author of the book, The Gatekeeper, about Missy LeHond, FDR, and the Untold Story. Catherine Smith is my guest this morning. She's a journalist and writer with a lifelong interest in Franklin D. Roosevelt, and his circle. A newspaper reporter and editor. She served for 20 years as the book columnist for the Anderson Independent Mail. She's involved with Rotary International in the worldwide effort to eradicate polio through a program called Polio Plus. And she has lectured and spoken on the FDR's leadership in the treatment of people with polio. Smith is also the author of A Necessary War, an oral history of World War II told by living veterans and civilians. And she is here with us this morning to talk about this book called The Gatekeeper. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to our radio show.
Well, thank you, Jim. I'm so glad to be here.
This is a fascinating and interesting book. I have just finished reading a few days ago, the interesting history about Franklin D. Roosevelt. I learned a lot of things I did not know. Of course, he was before my time, but I learned a lot about his life and the people surrounding him, and I thought it was very fascinating. Let me ask you a few questions about this book.
Sure.
You mentioned in the afterward that you first caught a glimpse of Missy, who the story's about, while reading a book about Roosevelt's presidency. What was it that piqued your interest in Missy and made you want to learn more about her?
Oh, my goodness, I wanted to be her. She worked for the most interesting president of the 20th century and lived in the White House, and I thought, what a fascinating life she must have lived in such tumultuous times. And when I started looking for a book about her, a biography about her, I learned that no one had ever written one. So I decided I would use my newspaper experience and go digging up her story, and that's what I did.
Well, the bibliography and all the references that you have, you must have really done some extensive research, because there's a lot of research that went into this book. How long did it take you to write it?
It only took a little over 2 years from the time I started. Just got kind of that inkling that I wanted to do the book. I started it in 2013 and turned it into the publisher the next the summer of 2015. But it did take a lot of research. I spent time at the FDR Library in Hyde Park, New York, and Warm Springs, Georgia, and Missy's hometown of Somerton, Massachusetts, and spent a lot of time with her family, who had extensive papers and photographs and letters that she had left behind.
How was the family in response to your wanting to write this story? Were they encouraging it, or were they hesitant?
They were wonderful. They were just wonderful, actually. She only has a few relatives since she didn't marry, had no children, but she had two great nieces, and they were the daughters of her beloved nieces, who were like her own children. And they were just delightful to work with. We've become really good friends, and they're very pleased with the book and the new attention to Missy and her prominence.
Of course, she was Franklin D. Roosevelt's secretary and administrative assistant, and we would consider her probably today maybe the chief of staff to his presidency. When do you suppose she has been portrayed by filmmakers, but also by historians, as a lovelorn secretary or a possible mistress rather than a valuable and trusted advisor?
I think because it's easier to shoehorn a woman that way. I think because Missy didn't seek the spotlight, she liked to be a background player, and she usually would downplay her role. If people asked her if she talked about politics with FDR, she'd say, "Oh, no, we never talk about that. I'm just a secretary." But in reality, she was a very big player. And that's validated by the memoirs of important people in his administration, like Harold Ickes, who was the Secretary of the Interior, and Raymond Moley, who was one of his very prominent advisors early on. They all respected Missy and appreciated her input and importance in the New Deal.
There has been speculation over the years among historians about whether Roosevelt and Missy were ever lovers. What is your conclusion based on your information?
Well, it's one of those things that's unknown and unknowable. There's a lot of arguments against it. They certainly had opportunities. They obviously adored each other. But I really don't know. And if they were, I don't think it was a long-term relationship. People's relationships evolve, and they were together for over 20 years. So I think it probably says more about us than about them that we wonder.
Tell us a little bit about the research process and some of the original material you uncovered. Which discovery was the most significant in telling Missy? So I know both of them had an illness, and they certainly identified with you in that respect. But tell us about that research process.
Yeah, that was a really a big surprise. In a lot of books, Missy has been portrayed as an emotionally fragile woman who had nervous breakdowns every year, and sometimes historians would say, "Oh, it was because of her unrequited love for FDR, and she was losing attention to sex," that kind of thing. But actually, she had rheumatic fever as a child and had a very serious heart condition. And from time to time, she'd suffer from atrial fibrillation, like a lot of people do today, and that ultimately led to her early death at age 47. So she would have these episodes of atrial fib. They treated with digitalis. She was allergic to the digitalis. It would just send her into a sort of a state of psychosis, and it would take a while to get her straightened out. And it's very hard to regulate digitalis even today, but it's one of the best treatments for atrial fib. So that's all they had back then. So that was a big surprise, and it really started me looking at her in a whole new way. When I went into the book, like many people, I thought I was going to discover that Missy was the great love of FDR's life, and I came away from it not convinced at all of that, but just amazed at her power and influence, and thinking, God, what a powerful woman that no one's ever heard of.
Amazing. Now, I'm sure in your research you logged a lot of thousands of miles tracing Missy's footsteps.
Yeah, I went all the way to Paris.
Oh, wow. Of all the places you visited, which one was most memorable for you, of all those places you visited?
I think of all the places I've been, the one I love the most is Warm Springs, because that was where Missy and FDR started the polio rehabilitation facility together. When he went there in 1924, he had just heard about a young man who had been exercising in the mineral pools in Warm Springs, and he'd been a polio survivor and had finally been able to walk with just a cane. And it was just a really run-down old resort then, and with Missy's help and encouragement, he bought the place and turned it into a world-class polio rehabilitation facility, and just literally thousands of people there got help over the years from their disability. And he built a little White House there, and Eleanor never liked Warm Springs very much and didn't spend much time there, but Missy was always there and was always FDR's hostess. So when you go into the little White House, Jim, you just feel like they just left a little while ago. It's perfectly preserved, and you just have that feeling of what a warm and happy place it must have been for them. Missy liked to have a drink and have a good time, and so did FDR, so they had just legendary cocktail parties and social events in Warm Springs, and you feel that happy spirit still there.
Eleanor, of course, has her own history. How did she and Missy get along with each other, knowing that Missy was as close to the president as she was?
They got along really well, and I think everyone who follows the Roosevelt story is aware that they had an unhappy marriage, that she had discovered he was having no romance with her secretary, a woman named Lucy Mercer, around 1918. And they talked about divorcing, and they decided to go on together, but their marriage was always more a partnership then rather than a true marriage. And that was when and Missy came on the scene a few years later, and she fulfilled a lot of the needs that Roosevelt had for emotional support and friendship with a woman. But she also helped Eleanor because she was her backup hostess, and not only at Warm Springs, but whenever Eleanor traveled, when she was the First Lady of New York and the First Lady of the country, and she traveled so much that the Secret Service name for her was Rover, Missy would back her up as the hostess at the White House. So she really depended on Missy just as Franklin did. It was a very interesting triangle, and she did very many kind things for Missy that make you know that she cared a lot about her personally.
It was sad to learn in reading that in the months leading up to Missy's stroke in 1941, that Roosevelt had started shutting her out as he spent time with the Crown Princess of Norway, and for the first time Missy openly criticized the president. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was a time of a tremendous schism in this country, I think much like we see today, but people were torn about intervening in World War II, or staying isolated. And Missy was an interventionist, and FDR was also, but she got frustrated with the tiny steps he was taking in that direction, and she complained to Harold Ickes, who was one of the cabinet members, that we have a leader who won't lead. And I think FDR was sick a lot that spring and had depended on Missy even more than ever. And then as soon as he got out of bed again, he was off gallivanting to see Princess Martha of Norway, who was a royal family member who'd come over when her country was captured by the Nazis. And but as soon as Missy had her stroke in June of 1941, FDR just pulled out all the stops to take care of her, brought in the best specialist. But it's like so many people who have a stroke today, once the damage is done, there's not always a lot you can do, and it was a very severe stroke.
Where might Missy fit into politics today?
That's an interesting question. I don't see her having a counterpart in the current White House. In the previous one, I would compare her to Valerie Jarrett as both a senior advisor, a trusted advisor, and a trusted personal friend, as Jarrett was with the Obamas. Earlier counterparts might be Condoleezza Rice in W.S. White House, or Karen Hughes, who was his communications director. Those are the best comparables I can think of, but I can't think of anyone today.
What would you say? I'll let you go here just a minute. What would you say is Missy's greatest legacy?
I'm sorry?
What would you say is Missy's greatest legacy?
I think that she was a glass ceiling breaker, that she came in at a time when there weren't a lot of women in the White House. Hoover had almost nobody in the White House, but Missy brought in a whole, contingent of women. It was the beginning of having female secretaries. She was the first female secretary to a president. So she, brought in this whole professional crew of women, and there have been women working in government ever since. So I think that's her greatest legacy. She opened the doors.
For those folks who might be interested in learning more about Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt, what further reading would you recommend?
If you want just a really good, solid biography of Franklin Roosevelt, I like Gene Edward Smith's book that's just called simply FDR. But another place to go is to go to the FDR Library website. It's just Google FDR Library. And it's fascinating and very easy to get around. Lots of great pictures and posts, and you can actually do research there. I did a lot of my research online. You can even follow FDR's calendar and see what he and Eleanor were doing every day during the Roosevelt administration. So it's a neat website.
I'm talking with Catherine Smith. She's the author of the book called The Gatekeeper about Missy LeHan, who is the untold story of a partnership that defined Franklin Roosevelt's administration. What are you working on now? Are there other stories like this that you'll be bringing forward?
There are. I'm researching a biography right now on a woman named Gertrude Sanford Legendre, who was... She was the daughter of a very wealthy New York family, but lived most of her life in near Charleston, South Carolina. She was a big game hunter. She partied with the Fitzgeralds during the 1920s on the Riviera. She worked for the spy agency, the OSS, during World War II. She's the only American woman in uniform captured by the Germans, so she spent time as a POW. Just had a fascinating life, lived to be almost 100 years old. And I'm also co-authoring, just for as sort of fun, as a funding a novel with a friend of mine, and it involves Missy and the child actress Shirley Temple.
Oh, I bet that'll be interesting.
Yeah, people can go to the Missy LeHan Facebook page. I do a lot of posting there about Missy and her circle, and my website is margueritelehan.com.
I'm always interested and fascinated, too, about stories and biographies like this. Do you see a made-for-television movie about Missy LeHan?
I would love to see a documentary about it, but I'm very hesitant. I've not been approached about selling the movie rights. And, once you turn a story over to Hollywood, they can do anything they want with it.
Oh, yeah.
And they have. So the agreement I have with Missy's great nieces is if we are approached, we'll make that decision jointly. But we haven't had any queries yet.
Well, Catherine Smith...
But it would make a great movie.
Oh, it would. It'd be very interesting to see that. Catherine Smith is the one I'm talking with, the author of the book called The Gatekeeper. Very interesting and fascinating. And, Catherine, I'd recommend this to anyone, regardless of what political side of the you happen to fall on. It's a very interesting, fascinating story about Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his so-called gatekeeper. And I've enjoyed my conversation with you, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you, Jim. I've enjoyed it also. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And that is a fascinating book. You can find that at most bookstores or most book options. That you want to search that out. It's called The Gatekeeper, and the author of the book is Catherine Smith, spelled with a K, Kathryn. And I learned a lot about FDR. Did not know some things. I just soon not enough known, but it's an interesting read. 8:51 right now here on WCAB, and I'll be back in just a moment.
Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service supports the mission and the good work of the volunteers of the Rutherford County Humane Society and reminds you that their donation address is Post Office Box 998, Rutherford, North Carolina 28139. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service owner Kent Dorsey and staff thank the dedicated volunteers at the Rutherford County Humane Society for their mission in Rutherford County. In a day of out-of-state owned funeral homes in the area, Washburn and Dorsey is one of your locally owned funeral homes.
Why are you fidgeting so much? What's that spinning noise?
Fidget spinners.
Where'd you get those at?
Smith Strokes gift shop.
What else do they got there?
Toys, games, Costumes. Puzzles.
Puzzles too. Hey, listen, if you all want to looking for a gift and you want to come down to Smith Drugs, visit our gift shop, and while you're there, get something to eat. Maybe pick up one of these fidget spinner things.
The Rutherford County Republican Party is inviting you to have dinner with the chairman of the Freedom Caucus and the 11th District Congressman Mark Meadows. Congressman Meadows is the keynote speaker for the 2017 Lincoln-Reagan Dinner, July the 8th, at the Carolina Event and Conference Center on Hudlow Road in Forest City. Call 828-429-9488 or 429-9488 for ticket information. Dinner starts at 7 and VIP reception starts at 6. The Honorable Mark Meadows, Saturday, July the 8th at 7 at the Carolina Event and Conference Center at 374 Hudlow Road in Forest City. Seating is limited, paid for by the Rutherford County Republican Party Executive Committee.
WCAB is the radio voice for the Forest City Owls, and it's just a little better than 2 hours away from the next broadcast. They have a noontime game today, and we'll have that game on for you. And it is a game between Gastonia today at 12 noon. We'll pick that game up live from the stadium. Have a wonderful Wednesday, folks. See you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning, of course, Dr. Bob will be holding office hours in the Blue Room, answering questions on how to live healthy naturally. So long, everybody.
News. I'm Mike Riley. Businesses, hospitals, and governments around the world are trying to bounce back from yesterday's crippling cyber attack.
The hackers were demanding $300 to unlock each machine, but the German firm providing the email address to be used for payment has blocked the account, suggesting the hackers were either amateurs or professionals.